Thieves.
Sea of Thieves.
We should talk about
What
it.
the
Sea of
hell
Thieves.
is this game?
It came out last night.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves is out.
You guys did
I get it now.
you guys did a stream yesterday, right?
Yeah.
We did. Yeah.
Good
Played
couple
a couple
hours?
hours. Yeah.
At least, yeah.
Okay.
So we played the beta, we streamed the beta a little bit, and I remember coming out of that going like, this is a really fun thing. There's like emergent weird shit happening.
It's an amazing sandbox or playground or whatever you want to call it.
And it'll probably be pretty awesome when they put the rest of the game in.
Right.
And then the game came out, and it's
still
kind of still,
There's not-
it's pretty
There's
similar.
There's more, but
There's
not
more.
a lot.
Like they put in like the vendors and like the reputation ranks you can earn with 3 factions.
yeah. Like there was only, at least in the beta we played, there was only 1 faction. Now there's 3.
How deep do you have to dig in order to get some of that immersion stuff? Is it really organic? Like, do you know that if you go out on the open seas, like something cool is going to happen?
Well, everything
define cool.
Yeah, because the things that might happen are going to be you find other players and fight them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That seems like that's most of the emergent stuff. Like you'll find a
might not
Kraken,
be-
you'll find like there's stuff
I want
out
that
there.
stuff, yeah.
You can go on an island and find stuff, but it seems like that stuff is
I don't know if I
fight
want to
skeletons.
mess with other people. I think I want a PvE kind of thing.
I don't think this is that. Then
Really?
I don't think this is that game.
Okay.
So when you just straight up when you load up the game, what happens?
Nothing. There is a text intro.
Okay.
Like there is.
You
there's-
pick a character. There's no character creator. It's just like it'll generate a bunch of random pirates, and you can just sit there and regenerate the random pirates until you find one you
And so
like.
these aren't like pirates with skills.
Nope.
Why not just make one?
It doesn't seem.
lack
Yeah.
of a character creator.
Yeah.
seems
I don't know why-
Really puzzling for that style of game.
Totally.
Because they clearly have the mechanics to match
And
like,
that.
body parts and body sizes and
Yeah.
facial features and all that stuff, but they don't give you any control over it. It's strange.
It's that's a little weird out of the gate.
But then,
whatever.
But then
I
once
mean,
you pick your character, it is just like the beta in that it just spawns you in a tavern without any instruction or tutorial.
well, so it does give you a little bit. I don't know. You didn't
put
get
me
it
in a
because you
tavern, I know
joined
what
my
to do.
game or
oh,
something.
okay, maybe it's because I was in your party. I
But
didn't
like
see that
the
stuff.
extent of the tutorial is like, hey, pick up a banana. Here's how your inventory wheel works. Eat the banana.
That's what I do at it.
Okay.
Eat the banana!
Yeah. Now go out here and pick up a quest. All right.
But they don't
Go.
they don't direct
Yeah.
you to quest givers
No.
or tell you how. Like the quest system is super arcane, and they don't explain any of that.
They don't explain it, and I think that's fine. Like for a sandbox game, like obviously you want some mystery to it, but this I think goes a little far in terms of just like, it's hard to get a sense of like what the goals are
Like
or
what the loop is,
or
what
what
should
I'm,
you be
what
doing.
I'm getting out of it.
So what are you getting out of like quests?
Gold that you then use to buy items that appear to be cosmetic. And my understanding is that like later on there are items that may have a genuine impact on gameplay, but generally like it's skins for a pistol, but it's still that pistol. It's skins for your sword, but it's still gonna be skins for your watch. Just like
Looking at the vendor inventories, they only sell skins for like you start the game with everything. You start the game with what appears to be all four weapons. You have a compass and a tankard and like everything that you
So weapons don't have like stats.
No.
no visible stats on them.
okay.
What about your boat? Are you? Can you get
There
even
are
cosmetic upgrades for your boat?
Yeah, so it's like different colored sails or like a cool dragon.
The cosmetic
for the mermaid
upgrades
for the front of it.
Yeah, the cosmetic upgrades for the boat look super cool to be
Yeah.
fair, but they're crazy expensive. And again, they don't do anything. It's like you can't make the boat faster. You can't like add more cannons
the
to
thing
your
is
boat.
I don't know that that's the. So I'm not positive that that's the case because I think there are some late game things that will start to factor into like, hey, this is actually an upgrade. There's an achievement for okay. When you level up with a faction, they then sell you items that at first glance you look at it and go like, this is just another watch skin. Okay, so maybe this isn't valuable. But then there's an achievement for upgrading your like vendor bought item 5 times. So like maybe those items can be meaningfully upgraded and not the baseline items. But there's no like character level. There's no you're not like leveling up. You're not getting XP. There's no perks. It's not that game.
Yeah, so what does late game even mean?
I have no idea.
Yeah, okay.
I think it just means like we played it long enough to just get really into the pirate fights, which I'm not sure that that's the game I'm looking for.
They've teased some kind of like secret pirate grotto that you can only get to if you're like the highest rank or whatever, but I don't think they've even said what that does exactly.
Can I steal your ship?
Yeah.
So
Kind of, but I mean, yes.
Except I'll keep respawning on it when you kill me because
Like,
it's
you
still
don't-
my ship.
Yeah, you don't become the owner of the ship. You can sail it away or you can sink it or whatever, but yeah, like the player who owns it will always spawn back on it.
So if I sink it and you respawn, Do you respawn
It,
underwater?
it generates a new boat at
Yeah.
a nearby island, so
Okay,
then you
okay.
respawn on the beach in front of your boat.
Yeah, I kind of wish the boats were less disposable because there aren't a lot of stakes to losing your boat.
That's what it seems like.
just
There's
get a
not a
new
lot of
boat.
stakes in general.
Well,
The big stakes
if you've got stuff on
Yeah.
your boat, because
Yeah,
everything
okay.
is cash in these items.
Yeah.
So when you go out on a bounty mission for one of the factions, there's one faction that all the quests seem to be go murder these named skeletons. And when you kill a named boss skeleton, their skull drops.
What is it?
And so you cash in the skull for gold and rep.
Okay.
And then, but the three factions, like so far, and again, this is like from a couple hours, so I hope it changes. But every single quest seems the same. It's like, do you want to kill this named skeleton, or this named skeleton? For that faction,
Yeah.
the merchant faction is like, deliver these items to this port, and we'll give you an empty box. And then you have to go find the items. Like in the case that we did, it was like go find white chickens, and then deliver those white chickens to this port by this time. And then the third one was the gold hoarder
Yeah,
faction.
it's just dig up.
I think that might be dig up
treasure maps, basically.
But then literally that's like
Okay.
you dig up a chest the same way you would have a skull. You have a chest, so you put the chest on your boat. You sail the boat back to a port. You cash in. You bring the item back to that rep guy,
Right.
and get your rep and cash in the quest.
Like I know there are some quests later that are a little more riddle based. Like it'll be like a poem that you have to read and kind of like intuit which island to go to and
Right.
how many paces to walk from a tree or whatever. Like that
Sounds
sounds kind of
kinda cool.
cool,
So-
but like I haven't seen any of that
Like,
stuff.
how
yet.
big is like your map of Sea of Thieves? Like,
It's a big world.
so
it
you
seems
can kind of
large.
just go anywhere. You're not like dropped into
Yeah.
predestined zones and
Yeah, they
work
seem to
into one
spawn you at a
zone.
random outpost. I think
There are other enemies besides skeletons?
I have not.
How's the
seen
combat?
any-
there's 3 different types of skeletons. I've seen.
Yeah.
Well, there are gold
There are
skeletons.
armored
Right.
skeletons.
Named
So
skeletons.
the gold skeletons are
ones.
metal, and they will rust if you throw a bucket of water on
Yeah.
them, which
Okay,
will slow them
that's
down.
something.
But they're still immune to sword attacks. So you have to use your gun, and like the pistol only holds 5 shots, and you can't hold more ammo in your inventory.
Yeah, so you have
it's
to
like go find an ammo box on the island, or swim back to your fucking boat and get 5 more shots, and swim
Yeah.
all the way back
There is-
and put 5 shots into these things.
Like the-
and there's 8
Yeah.
skeletons, so you're like, what the fuck am I
Like
doing?
the
You gotta craft some dumb
the
pods.
predominant
Yeah.
activity in this game is walking back and forth between your ship and a thing. Like
Whoa,
going
okay.
to pick up a thing and bring it to your ship, or
Yeah.
taking the thing from your ship to a vendor, going to get ammo on your ship and going back
That's
out.
the
Like, it's
authentic
a
pirate
lot of back
experience,
and-
Brad.
It's a
That's
lot
what
of
it
back
was
and
really
forth.
like.
It's
Yeah.
scurvy
It's-
and
So it's really like I'd say early game, like, and I know they've shown off late game stuff in the beta. Like they had some players in there playing some later stuff,
Yeah.
and from streams they've done, and it seems like there's a bit more. But it does seem like it's like maybe instead of just telling you where the chest is, we are going to make you solve a riddle to find the chest. And
Which
I
is
wonder
cool,
if
but-
it is cool, but like
At the end of it, you're still just
if,
carrying a
if
chest.
that is
Yeah.
if that is all, and it's just like higher level, slightly deeper versions of this thing,
Yeah.
that might, and by might I mean that for me that will 100% wear thin immediately,
right, yeah.
and it's kind of started to.
well, I mean, yeah, if that's the ultimate goal, sure. But if it's like emergent gameplay, that's really kind of bringing people together, and you're having
Yeah.
that experience with friends.
That'll
it's
give
the
it some
journey,
more.
yeah.
That'll
it's-
give it
and
some
it's
more legs. but-
beautiful.
yeah.
Like when the
Yeah.
sun is setting over the water,
It
like
is
the
a
water looks
it is a
tremendous. The
phenomenal looking
lighting,
water
of the
is, like,
moon off
amazing
the
in that
waves,
game.
It is
and
the
all
from
that
the
stuff.
start.
It's the best looking water I've ever seen in a game, and
Yeah.
not just the way it looks, but the way it acts, the way things bob around in it and
Right.
stuff. Like it's incredible.
When you get into rough seas and the ship will kind of list over to one side and stuff, like there's
Yeah.
like
How is the ship-to-ship combat?
It's cool.
'Cause,
Like,
so are you
everything-
fulfilling a job and like, okay, I'm manning
yeah.
the cannons, I'm steering the
Like-
ship, I'm doing the sails.
like that's kind of why
thing?
the higher level like quest design stuff is so frustrating for me, because the base level like group ship navigation and sailing stuff is amazing. Like it's super cool. Like
it requires a lot of communication
Yeah.
because it's very much like the person behind the wheel can't necessarily see in front of them.
Yeah.
So you might
Oh,
need to have
wow.
someone up top telling
somebody
you
in the
where
crowd.
things
wow.
are.
Oh, that's
somebody
cool.
somebody down in the hold
is
like
cool.
looking at the map, navigating. Like
Yeah.
you like it's got the Wind Waker where you can see the direction of the wind.
Right.
So somebody needs to be like angling the sails into the wind. Like it's a really cool.
And then maybe
experience.
like a fourth player just like on cannon duty. But
Yeah,
then even
yeah.
then it's like you can only man one cannon at a time, and you're like, I need to aim this and shoot it, and now I'm gonna walk to the next one and do it again.
Yeah.
Or am I gonna stay here and load another cannonball out of my inventory? I can only hold 5 or 10 cannonballs. I need to run back to a barrel to get 10 more cannonballs.
Sounds like there's a lot of arbitrary restrictions that don't really serve.
somewhat.
For me, it's the
purpose.
pistol ammo was
Yeah,
specifically the
yeah.
thing. When we got to the skeletons that seemed to be immune to melee damage, And it was this thing of
Yeah.
like, okay, like even though we eventually found an ammo box on the island, it was still not necessarily near the fight. So it was just like pop off 5 shots, run across the island, reload, run back, pop off 5 more shots.
The big one for me, having played it a couple hours by myself now, is that you can only carry 1 chest or 1 skull or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got 4 different things I needed to sell last night, that was 4 trips back and forth between the boat and the vendor to sell all my stuff.
I was going to ask, how is it?
Like it took like 10 minutes of just walking back and forth.
The sail solo option seems to be like the last resort. Like it's in here, but you have to get through 4 menus of us like kind of trying to match you up with players before you get to one that just says just me.
Yeah,
So you can sail solo.
The small boat is totally doable by yourself, but
Do you think the game is playable at all with 3 other randos?
probably.
It will try to match. It will definitely match you up with 3 random.
Right, but
people.
how? You were talking a lot about
Yeah.
communication for the ship
Coordination,
stuff.
It's got like a dialogue wheel of preset messages, but I don't know. I guess I haven't tried it, so I can't say one way or the other.
Sure.
It seems like with voice chat, anything's possible.
Yeah.
So groups max out at 4 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of
You could theoretically have 8 people on your boat,
group of-
though.
yeah, okay.
You know, but like they're not going to respawn on your boat when
Right.
they die. They'll
Right.
respawn on theirs.
Yeah.
So it's kind of. It just, I don't know. Like it seems like a really cool framework that needs.
It sounds like a beta still.
or it
is
doesn't-
what
it
it kind of
doesn't
sounds
necessarily-
like.
yeah,
Like the
it
boat
does,
thing
yeah.
just sounds like something that you should iron out as like okay, this is not
Right.
going to be okay.
And it left me feeling like, okay, the game I thought they were making is not the game they were making,
Yeah.
and this is way more sandbox survival stuff than like Pirate Quest RPG stuff.
Right.
And
I think the survival thing is a little more apt than people realized because there are stakes to losing your progress. Like things happen that are a giant bummer.
well, yeah,
sometimes.
if your boat sinks and then all your, if you had a bunch of chests on it and stuff, you're like, well, another crew, but then another crew stole my shit and then sold it.
Here's
So
my
there
experience.
is that kind of PvP action.
Here's my experience of 45 minutes by myself this morning. I picked up a quest to get 2 different types of pigs.
Mm-hmm.
I spent 45 minutes sailing between islands looking for these pigs. I found one, could not find the other one. Had to go to the bathroom. So I had one of these pigs on my boat, right?
Yeah.
In the 90 seconds it took me to get to the bathroom and come back, a skeleton spawned out of the ground and killed me. I respawned on my boat, and a dude was there jacking my pig.
He was
your pig?
what?
Yeah, that sounds
jackers.
That's right. So yeah, like I had spent 45 minutes sailing around looking for, because it had to be like a pink bristled pig. It couldn't have been like whatever. So I kind of like emote at this guy a little bit. I'm like, does he want to party? You want to dance or something? And of course, no. He grabs my pig and jumps over the side. I swam after him and shot him to death. But by the time I got to where he was, the pig had drowned.
Oh man.
So yeah, like that was like almost an hour of sailing around, like very slowly looking for this animal, and then a dude just took it and it died.
A roller coaster of emotion.
Yeah,
no kidding.
and it's not a game with incredible progress, so
Yeah.
it's not like you were like, well, at least I leveled up.
Yeah,
at least I
I
earned some XP.
literally wiped
It's
away
like-
everything I had done in 45
yeah.
minutes.
That's
Sounds very, survival.
yeah,
So,
it is. It is more harsh than I
Yeah.
think.
Yes.
I was thinking it was going to be, and I think this game will totally be for specific types of players. I think we'll get way fucking into just like hey, we're fucking pirates. We're gonna go steal your shit.
Yeah.
And we're badass, and we know how to work these boats. And then you're gonna have like ragtag groups of bumblefucks that have no idea what they're doing to get sunk by these other pirates.
Yeah.
And it just at that point, it's like, this is neat. It's not for me.
You definitely need 4 like-minded people to get the most out of this game. If you
I don't think
if-
there's anything wrong too with the whole, making a game that's mostly about emergent like experiences, but there needs to be a huge variety of them. And so
Yeah.
far,
Yeah.
it sounds like, from what we've heard, you guys have experienced, it sounds fairly
Yeah, like
limited.
the quest stuff doesn't seem like there's not a bunch of story attached to it. It is very much just like sail here, kill these guys.
Also, what you're doing it for, like if you're not getting like gameplay affecting loot and like meaningful
Right.
character progression, like there's the whole all you have is the show off cosmetics
Yeah.
thing.
and it's a first-person game, so you almost never see your character.
Right.
That's-
That's why I said yesterday that like that stuff's not meaningful for me because obviously there would be an aspect like if you were way into Sea of Thieves and you saw someone dressed up in all the fucking high level shit, you were like, oh, okay,
Right.
they've put the time in.
Right.
But that's as a first person game, I don't care what I look like
And
anymore.
at this point, it's not clear what, if anything, that stuff lets you do late in the game that is worth, in terms of abilities or access to new content or whatever. I don't know what else is there.
It feels like it needs some kind of early game thing of just like, hey, here's a slight bump in power to give you an indication of what might be to come.
Yeah.
If
Mm,
anything,
right.
and I don't know.
Like
So-
we ranked up with 2 of the factions during that stream yesterday, and I'm still not super clear what that did for us, other than you can buy slightly better quests from them.
which I assume
But
just
they're the
means
same types of
reward.
quests.
Yeah, they were all the same
They're
descriptions.
still doing the same things. They just give
I
you more
assume
gold.
that means that they're going to be slightly more difficult, and,
Yeah.
and the rewards will be better, I guess. But yeah, at some point, I'm not sure that that's enough for me.
Yeah.
But it's a really fascinating thing.
Yeah,
that
man, I want to
bet,
like it so bad.
It seems like the perfect game for them to roll out alongside the Xbox Game Pass stuff, where like if you subscribe to that service, Sea of Thieves and all the first party stuff is now a part of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Like as a $60 game,
No,
I'm a little.
especially-
it is
I'm-
included in the Game Pass.
It is.
right?
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
So, like,
Especially like doubly so for a game that needs a bunch of people populating it for it to be
Sure.
cool.
Right.
Like to
Like,
get all those people in there.
I
Is a good
feel
thing.
like, them rolling this out and them offering like a 2-week trial, like you could get in there and very easily discover if Sea of Thieves is for you.
Yeah.
What do
or
you think
not.
is the number one like low-hanging fruit in terms of making this game more interesting for you guys? Like, what do you
Like,
want to see in the first
more-
major patch?
like more and deeper quests, really. Just the thing you're doing moment to moment.
It's hard to say. Like I think we're inferring a lot because we ran 2 quests, one from 2 different factions. So it's hard to even say.
Well, like I said, I did some more this
okay,
morning.
you did
and
some more. Okay, there was okay.
After we
yeah.
bought that first like a title upgrade with the merchant,
Yeah.
whatever, and it was the same type of
Okay.
quest. It's
Then-
more deliverable livestock. Yeah.
Sounds like some kind of raids or something would be cool if you
Yeah.
like, team up with a bunch of other people to take
Yeah,
on
like
some big
faction
threat.
on faction. Yeah,
Yeah,
like some giant
like
sea
something
battle.
larger
Yeah.
scale.
To be fair, we were playing before release yesterday, so we barely saw like one other ship for 2 minutes or something.
Oh,
like
sure.
it's
Yeah.
But like honestly, like that's not that type of PvP game is not ever gonna be one I'm looking for. Where like it is hey, we worked really hard for this thing and another team swooped in and fucked us over. Like that's just not the gameplay. That's not the game I'm looking for. Period. So that just might be a deal breaker. But I think for me, yeah, it's maybe some like a more interesting persistence to the character that I'm playing would probably go a long way. Like your only character option is like in the menus is delete pirate, which starts you over.
Wow.
It's
okay.
not like
Yeah.
there's no character sheet equivalent or anything like that. Like
That's really baffling to me that there's not a lot of customization and stuff. For this seems like that would be the whole reason.
you
Like,
can buy hairstyles and obviously clothing and stuff, but that's about
Yeah.
it.
Like I almost
Yeah.
feel like, what if it was like a class-based game where
Right.
I was the guy
Yeah.
who could drop more ammo for the rest of
Right,
the team so we didn't have to
exactly.
run back.
Yeah.
I give a boost to like sail speeds or whatever.
That's
you
what I
know?
was
Yeah.
expecting it to have a little
You'd think
bit more of
items
that
would
stuff.
do that too, if not classes. You'd think that's
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
there'd be so many options for items.
And if those items are in there, they don't surface them off the bat. So
Right.
like I'm not even sure what we're working for
Sure.
beyond like the satisfaction of faction rep and
Like just basic stuff like a gun that holds more bullets, or like I said, like making your ship a little bit faster. Just
Yeah.
there are so many easy little things you could be working toward that just don't seem to be there.
yeah.
Hey, here's a weird question. Does this game have loot boxes?
No.
Because I feel like that would
No,
work.
no microtransactions.
They're all
actually-
kept in the loot
Yeah,
boxes.
like,
and that's
this
where
is the one
yeah.
game where
Yeah,
maybe
that makes
I'd like
sense.
to see
There's
something.
time saver. Yeah, no.
Yeah, there's no way to put money into the
Okay.
game right now.
Yeah, I guess like I expected the transition from beta to release to be something more substantial,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
maybe it's on me for misunderstanding the game they were making, or maybe they just didn't convey it as clearly as,
I
as they maybe
should
could have,
say,
but
I don't know about you, but if we had not streamed the beta, if yesterday was the first time I had ever played this game, I would be way more enthusiastic right now, because like that base stuff, like the ship sailing and just how cool the water looks and all that stuff is like
Seeing it the first time.
pretty
is-
revelatory the first time you see it. But we played all that in the beta, so
yeah, there's a certain amount of fun to and
just learning the ship and like kind of getting good at steering it, because it turns like a fucking aircraft carrier, like, you
Right.
steer and then it takes like 15-20 seconds for it to really start
and it
going.
kind of really only takes maybe 2 to 3 people to get the boat going, which always left me free to play my accordion or get drunk or
yeah, like it's got a ton of personality, like when everybody gets their musical instruments out, they all sync up and play the same song.
great.
Oh, that's
cool.
And stuff like that. It's cool.
But then you get back to port and it's kind of like the same 5 NPCs with like very generic dialogue, and there's nothing really tying it all together.
That's too bad.
So it's just, I think you have to go into that thing really wanting to have emergent pirate adventures, and if you're not looking for that specific thing,
To be ready to role play.
yeah,
As a pirate.
totally.
Get your pirate accent.
At some point, it's
polished.
like, did they just make a streamers game?
Yeah.
Of like, hey, you're streaming, so talk like a pirate,
Right.
Like, yeah.
the top I shouldn't even say this. The top Sea of Thieves stream that I clicked on Twitch last night, the dude was full on like Jack Sparrow outfit.
I think
There we go.
that's his shtick.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Who, I don't know who
he does
that
that
full time.
I don't know. I don't know who that was. but-
Pirates
He's
love
been
this
waiting
game.
for this pirate game to come and finally match his Twitch persona.
Yeah.
So finally.
I guess so. I don't know where they'll go with it. I'm sure they're going to add stuff post-release, and
I think yeah.
Is there any way to try it now? Like, or do you have to basically pay?
It's
60?
so the
the
Game
Game Pass
Pass
trial?
thing. There's a 14-day free trial
Okay.
for Game Pass, which is
Okay.
like their like Netflix. Like
and then you can
just
try any first
totally.
party.
so you
Okay.
could totally play this game 2 weeks for free.
Because I was gonna.
I'm gonna have to
You
check
said
that
it's a $60 game, but it almost sounded to me like this would make more sense as like a free-to-play thing where they just make their money off of buying cool stuff, but then there's not really cool stuff to decorate your character with. It sounds like too much yet. So
Like some of it's like, oh, the Admiral's watch looks nicer than the baseline
Yeah.
watch, but no other player is gonna. I mean, you can show your watch to other players. There's actually a dedicated button
that's
for
right.
turn
That's
your
right.
map around and hold it up.
It's cool. Like, which dumb stuff like that is neat.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of good dumb stuff
yep.
that is like fun to do
Like
the
when-
first few times.
Like when you get drunk, you can vomit into a bucket and throw it on your teammates. You know, like,
Like, the way you're describing it makes me think of a hub world for a like getting ready to play the actual game.
Right.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
but even then, like, you know, it's you getting matched in with players, so it's not even there's no social hub for me to throw up on a large quantity of players. It's just the three that I've been matched with.
DLC.
well, whoever
Yeah.
you run into.
Or yeah. If you run into someone in a non-violent way and they don't immediately try to shoot you, then maybe you could throw up on them.
Keep a bunch of buckets at the ready.
Yeah, like we were streaming yesterday, and I think Vinny was getting drunk, and
Yeah.
But what was he doing in the stream?
also getting drunk. It was very much he was
Very
living
meta.
he was living the gimmick. And there's a great animation in there. So like when you have enough tankards of grog, your character just eventually throws up every set amount of time, or randomly, or whatever it is. And until you sober up enough to stop doing it, and you can throw up on other players, and it will like wash over their screen so they can't see. But also, it will happen no matter what animation you're in. So he was in the drink, and I've been this person. You can be in the drinking animation and start vomiting, and I was like, "This game's pretty good." But yeah, you can also like in a bucket and then throw the bucket on someone. Like there's a lot of dumb.
Oh, does it work on the skeletons?
I wonder if that would
Oh.
slow down the rust
There you go.
skeletons. Yeah,
New strats.
yeah.
Skeletons eat bananas in the middle of combat to regain health. Like,
What?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's canon.
where does that banana go?
That's a rare thing. Old habits.
Yeah,
die hard.
yeah. And it's got a charm to it, you know.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
they definitely like dot a lot of I's and cross a lot of T's on the charm front, but like the game,
It's a like the pirate experience is fantastic, but like the game part of it,
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really want to get people together and give it more of a chance, though. Like, I want
sure.
to get out there with people and see what happens.
Yeah, but like the stream we ran yesterday, by the end of it, I was like, I'm having a good time, but I'm also still weirdly baffled by this thing, you know, in a weird way. Yeah, I'll be curious to see what people start to think about it now that it's out a little more widely.
Yeah.
We'll check it out some more.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about Sea of Thieves?
Oh.
Oh, no,
yeah.
I'm not gonna.
You're not going to see
I'm
that
not
through.
gonna, really.
No. Have you touched any more Sea
Yeah,
of Thieves since we recorded?
Where'd
So
you leave my
we-
character? You used my character.
Yeah, I was using your character
Okay.
initially for when we were recording our quick look.
Mhm.
And I played about an hour before that and a little while after that, and then I played again
You didn't get me
this
banned
weekend.
or anything, did you?
No, I played
Okay.
with my own character this
Okay, good.
weekend. I have played maybe roughly 5 hours of the game, and I still literally haven't run into another non-squad human.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a huge bummer because I am seeing so many stories of just these amazing things that people are coming across, and I really want, like, I don't want to not like the game. I want to have pirate fun with my pirate friends.
Yeah.
But I just want to sail the seas and get some treasure and some booty and
Well, the good news, because that's all there is in that game.
Yeah.
And
It's all booty.
but I want to earn my booty. I
Uh-huh.
don't want to like just go on mindless quests and shoot stupid skeletons. I want to like steal it from other pirates and
I don't want that.
that's how you earned it.
yeah.
You're okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's a shame that Brad's not here this week. Maybe he'll talk about it next week. But I got the impression from seeing some stuff from him over the weekend that he finally had some moments in that game that
Okay.
were that were the big multiplayer
Pirate-esque.
pirate moments of jacking fools and taking their shit. Because like you, I have seen one other boat the whole time I've been playing the game. And I'm done. Like, honestly, like I still have it installed. There's some part of me that's in the back of my head like, oh yeah, maybe it'd be fun to get back to this someday. But it's just not going to happen.
I reactivated Xbox Gold for this.
Yeah.
Well, you got that for a year, and then you did the Game Pass thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah. Well, they got you.
yeah,
They got me.
Mission
got
accomplished.
you for a year.
Yeah, I've put a number of hours into that game, similar to yours, probably somewhere around that number, and every one of those hours has just been sailing alone or with us, with our crew for recording stuff and all that, and just like my time with the game has been so flat that it's just like there's other stuff I could be playing. There's so many games coming out every day that the idea of spending more time with this one in the hopes that something changes is just, that's not, I just don't have time for
like
that.
the thing is, I don't necessarily need this game to have a deep progression system. Like, it'd be cool, that's the kind of game that I like, but I don't need every game to have that. Like, this game, like, I don't know what it would do, I'm not a game designer, but it feels like it's just missing one key thing. I don't know what that thing is. It could be a progression system. It could be like easier interaction, like easier ways to interact with strangers. It could be different mission types or enemy type. Like, there's so many things.
I feel like the answer is that it's gonna need all of those things and then some.
Yeah.
And so that said, one of the things they announced they were working on putting into the game was a death penalty that would take gold away from you when you died.
Oh, great.
That doesn't sound fun.
And like that was one of the first things that they put on their list.
Making things more miserable for players.
Right. Yeah. In this game where the progress is already pretty slow and all this other stuff, to have that be the one lever they want to pull this early on seemed crazy. The world let them know. And the story from Heather Alexandra on Kotaku saying that they have walked that back.
Okay, good.
So there's a quote here from Joe Neat, the executive producer, saying, hey, just wrote on Twitter, letting everyone know we've heard the feedback about and the proposed death cost is, well, dead. We messed up with the messaging around this, and it's now gone. Thanks for the honest feedback and discussion on this. I like that.
You're welcome.
At no point does he say the idea itself was a bad one. I was like,
no,
the messaging was so wrong.
It was actually you guys that...
You guys got it all wrong, and we had to
It was going to be really good. You were actually going to get
it was going to fix the game, but all right, if you guys don't want us to fix it. That's a real weird phrasing, but hey, that's still probably the right move for a game that I feel like still needs so much before you get to something like that. The very idea of this game where progress is fleeting and meaningless in a lot of ways, to have that be an early focus just seems so baffling to me.
Yeah.
Like,
that would actively deter me from playing that game.
Totally.
Like, it's a game where you're kind of supposed to be experimenting and fucking around and.
So theoretically, the cool thing about this game in its current state is if they wanted to spend a bunch of time and periodically add improvements and mission variety and stuff like that, because there's no huge progression system, theoretically people can jump in at any time. You could be like months from now and they do a huge update and I'm going to be like, oh, I don't feel behind. I'm not like level 6 and everyone else is level 40. Like, I'm going to hop into random squads and be useless. So I'm really interested to see because they haven't announced any other sort of
I haven't really seen a good roadmap from them on stuff, but
I don't know if I'm curious if they see this as a success.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was successful enough at launch to have server problems.
Yeah.
For whatever that means.
It did decently on the UK charts I was seeing. Beating Nino Kuni.
And then some of those numbers we'll never know.
Yeah.
Because it's part of the Xbox Game Pass and all that sort of stuff. Like, I'd be curious to know if it's moving the needle there, because that seems like the best thing this game could do if it gets people into Microsoft's ongoing service.
So you're saying they made the game bad on purpose so you would get Game Pass?
I mean, they made the game a service, I feel like this is the right time to roll out, because this is the first new game as part of Microsoft saying all its first-party stuff will be day and date on Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
And having this game a service-based game that is meant to be something you play for a long time in theory, that gets updated over time, rather than like rolling out a ton of DLC or all this other stuff, like having it be part of this larger service, I think makes sense.
Yeah.
But for me, the quality of the game just isn't there. So it's hard to recommend for $10 a month, $60 for like any part of that. The balance doesn't feel right to me right now. So
I agree.
we'll see.